Welcome back to the Idaho Steelheads Hockey Show, brought to you by Deschutes Brewery. The Steelheads on the road this week, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, as they take on the Utah Grizzlies. Cam McGuire here, joined now with forward Ty Pelton-Byce. And Bycer, we'll kind of go all over the place here today, but just want to first talk about obviously scoring your first goal as a Steelhead this past weekend in Rapid City, and you added another one in that game. Had to feel nice to get the first one.
Yeah, it was nice for sure. I've never really been one that worries when I'm not scoring, as long as I'm getting chances to. But it definitely felt nice to get those, especially after a few chances I had that week that didn't seem to go in, so it was nice to get those too. You
had a lot of chances, there's no doubt about that, so it was definitely nice to see a couple find the back of the net in that game against Rapid City. The one was a beautiful setup, and you were just standing right there at the top of the crease and you just had to tip it on in. Pretty nice goal.
Oh yeah, it was a great play by Walks to get it over to Braids, and then just tried to get lost a little bit behind the D, and Braids made a great pass and I just had to tap it in.
Right now, 10 games into the season, the Steelheads are 7-2-0-1. What's the temperature like in the locker room? I'm sure it's pretty high.
Oh yeah, it's really high. Obviously we try to stay neutral no matter if we're doing well or not doing well. But just, the energy from everybody right now is really great. We got a great group of guys. Everyone's playing for each other. So we just got a great makeup of a bunch of different guys that can do a lot of different things, and it's working really well.
We mentioned the Steelheads in the midst of a 6-game road trip, and you've had quite the travel experiences this year, because you have a lot of names. So when we first flew out to Iowa, we had a little hiccup with the what did we call them, TSA members, but it seems like we've got it all situated now, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. We had Tyler on the ticket at first, which isn't my real name, and then we fixed that, and then next trip we figured out the birthday was wrong. It was about 5 years too early. Not that old yet, but we got it all figured out.
Couple obstacles, couple hula hoops to jump through, and now that you got the Mileage Plus account too, you're getting some points for United.
Yeah, we finally figured that out, so that would be nice, especially since we travel a lot and fly United a lot. So hopefully, can save up for a free flight at the end of the year.
There you go. You're a smart man right here. Well, it's your first year in Boise, so you've been here now about a little over a month. How's your time been so far?
It's been fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite cities that I've been to for hockey. The community's great, weather's great, awesome scenery, lots of stuff to do. So it's just a great city overall.
You a big outdoorsman, or?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I try to. Probably don't get out as much as I'd like, but definitely have tried to get out a little bit and see either the mountains or the green belt, stuff like that.
Fisherman or no?
Not too much.
Yeah.
A couple of my buddies back home fish, and maybe I'll go with them, but I don't mind it, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge fisherman.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty mixed in the locker room. Like there's probably about half the guys maybe that are big into it, and then the other half kind of like, I'll tag along kind of thing.
Yeah, we've had some guys going out and buying some fishing licenses and waders, and I know Braids likes to fly fish and get in the river, and so some guys are tagging along with him, but it just shows how that the weather here and everything that's here, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Well, we mentioned your first year here in Boise. Last year you split time in Manitoba and Newfoundland, so north of the border, and talk about that a little bit. But first I want to ask you, how'd you end up here with the Steelheads?
Well, I just, Sheener reached out to me during the summer and just expressed interest, and there's a few options that I was deciding between, but I knew Jake Kupski, obviously, from being from Wisconsin. He played here before, and he said this place just beats everywhere else by a long shot. So it was a pretty easy decision. And then last year was definitely an interesting year. It was Newfoundland was a really cool experience. Definitely a lot different than a lot of other experiences I've had. And then obviously Manitoba was good too. Lots of great guys on both those teams, good organizations. So liked it a lot, but just happy to be here back in the States.
I feel like the scenery from Boise and Newfoundland, you've seen it all now in the last about a year with those two spots, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Really cool spots. Yeah, Newfoundland's a very interesting place. We had a great setup right by the bay, so you're right by the ocean, and lots of stuff to see. Cool little town. And then obviously here's a great spot. So the good thing about playing hockey is you get to see a lot of places that maybe you wouldn't if you didn't.
Well, I want to talk about how you got into the game. Obviously, you come from a athletic background. Your dad played at the University of Wisconsin, won a national championship, played a handful of professional seasons. Your mom, too, is a great athlete at the University of Wisconsin. So were you just born right into skates when you were about 6 months old, or when did you start playing hockey?
Yeah, pretty much. My mom always says that when my dad was playing after their games, I'd run right down to the locker room and grab a stick and start passing with the players on his team. So yeah, I was pretty much right away. Started playing hockey and then started skating probably when I was 3 or 4. And yeah, just pretty big hockey family with my dad, and then my uncle's a really good coach as well. And then obviously with my mom being a really good athlete, running track, playing basketball, all that. So it was a pretty easy decision to start.
So is that where the playmaking ability started? Just passing the ball around when you're about a little guy, maybe this big, with some professional hockey players?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, hopefully that's probably one of the main reasons. Seems like I've always been a passer. Trying to shoot more and more, obviously, but I'd definitely say that it's something to do with it.
That's something you take pride in, too, your playmaking ability?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always love to set up other players, and we got a lot of guys on our team that can score goals. So some of them end up being pretty easy. I just got to get them the puck, and they can find the back of the net.
Was it always hockey from the start, or were there other sports that you were involved in too, or was it just hockey?
I played a lot of sports. Obviously, in my family, there's a lot of different sports. My dad played baseball in college too. And then obviously my mom was really talented in a lot of sports. So when I was little, she ran some sports programs where we'd play a lot of different things. So played soccer up until end of high school, played baseball up until high school, played golf. So definitely a lot of different sports. Baseball, I'm gonna guess your position here. First base? First baseman? I was usually shortstop or second base.
All right.
Maybe throwing a little pitcher, center field, but that was in Little League, so I don't know how you can brag about that. But yeah.
Baseball's a little too slow for you, probably, huh? A little bit?
A little bit.
You liked it, though?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought about playing in high school. Ended up playing golf instead my freshman year, but just with hockey and spring hockey and other sports, it was too tough to continue that. But I definitely I liked all the sports. I played a lot.
There's a lot of good golf courses around the Boise area. Have you had a chance to partake? I know there's a lot of good players too downstairs as well.
Yeah, we got some good golfers. I've played once so far. We were planning on trying to play a lot. And during training camp, obviously, it was really nice, but we had it's a decently grueling schedule. So on your off time, you kind of want to kick your feet up, but. Hopefully we can get a few more nice days before the snow starts coming down to get a few more rounds in. Played one out at Falcon Crest. That's a really nice spot.
Weather definitely has taken a little bit of a turn. It's trending away from golf season as we enter the winter. But we've talked about your professional career a little bit growing up as you got into the game, and then obviously your college career started at Harvard and then you ended at the University of Wisconsin. So it was a little bit of a homecoming, which had to be pretty nice.
Yeah, it was really great coming back and playing for Wisconsin. Just being a Badger fan my whole life, pretty much, going to the games growing up. It was really cool to be a part of that, and especially since a lot of my high school friends that still went to Wisconsin when I came back, and then obviously I had my teammates at Wisconsin, and my family around the area. So it was great to just kind of have everyone you really like around the same spot.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here. We've got 5. I've been doing this with everyone, right? I've got 5 just kind of random questions. Some are hockey related, some aren't. I've asked a couple of the same ones. I'm going to start off here. This is the same one that I've asked like 4 different times now. But if you were given an elephant and you can't return it or you can't sell it, what are you going to do with the elephant?
Ride around town, I guess.
Yeah, just hanging out in the streets.
Yeah, I'd probably show it off to everybody. I mean, who else has an elephant?
That's a good point. You have a name that you would name an elephant? You've probably never been asked this in your life, huh?
No, I haven't.
You're like, give me a name that you'd name the elephant. What do you got? Like Steve, maybe Jimmy?
I'm a big fan of dogs with human names, so something like that.
All right.
Paul. I had a buddy growing up whose dog name was Paul that I thought was always hilarious, so something like that.
All right, we're gonna get that on video. We're probably not, but tie Pelton-Byce down the street on an elephant named Paul. That'd be great. All right, second one here. This came up into my mind a couple days ago. I actually asked Coach Sheen this as well, but someone approached me. There's one correct way to say this. I'm going to give you two different terms on how to say it. Is it Brussels sprouts or is it Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts.
Plural or singular?
Plural.
So you're going with that.
But it's Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. So you're actually correct. You're the first. I've asked this question now about 6 times in the last 24 hours. You're the first person to give me the correct answer.
Sweet.
How do you know that?
I don't know. I don't remember. Well, we've been playing a lot of trivia crack over the past couple of road trips, so maybe it was in there. But
well, Sheener had no idea. But I'll tell you this now. This is just way off topic. 77% of America thinks that it's Brussels sprouts. So you're one of those 23%. Good for you. All right, another one here. Number 3. If you could pick an actor to play you in a movie, who would you pick?
Ooh. Maybe Leonardo DiCaprio. I've always actually gotten, if you look at my baby pictures, they look identical.
Pretty similar. So his baby pictures and your baby pictures are pretty similar?
He went up a little bit farther than me.
No, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. So Leo, what's your favorite Leo movie?
Probably, God, he's got so many good ones. Maybe Inception.
Oh, that's a good one. I had to watch like 6 times to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Mind pretzel on that one. 2 more for you here. I'm kind of just thinking of these up on the fly. I usually write them down, but I forgot to do that. So let's see here. 2 more random ones. This is a good one because we talked about you being involved with multiple sports growing up as a kid. Obviously a professional hockey player now, but if you could pick one other sport to be a pro athlete in, what sport? Golf. I couldn't even answer. You didn't let me finish the question.
Definitely golf.
Golf? You're a lefty then too? Golf? Yeah. Who's your favorite PGA golfer?
I always loved Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, I loved Phil too.
When I was like probably 8 or 9, I was down in Arizona visiting my grandparents for the winter. We went to the Waste Management Open, and I went up to a tee box when he was about to tee off, and he looked at his ball and said, "I don't want this anymore," and walked over to me and handed it to me.
There you go. You still have it?
I might.
Somewhere?
I had it kept it for a long time. We moved out of our house a couple years ago, so I don't know if it
didn't know if it made the move
or not. But
it might pop up one of these days, right?
Yeah.
And then, all right. Lastly, here, we'll ask you this one. Hockey players are very superstitious, right? Do you have any superstitions that you do before a game? Maybe anything that sticks out?
Not really. I'm not very superstitious, I would say. Try to keep a routine the same, but
what's your routine then? What do you got?
Nothing special. Just a little nap and then a little meal and then come to the rink. I like to. We play sewer, play soccer. I like to get that in and then get on the ice. I think I put my left skate on.
I was going to say, you got like the left or the right, but other than that, nothing that sticks out particularly?
Not really. I try to be a little flexible, so if something doesn't go right and you're getting ready, it doesn't affect you too much. But
we asked Cupper the same question. You might be able to tell me this. We'll wrap it up after this. But I asked him if he had any superstitions, and he said not really either. Likes to stick to a routine. I find that hard to believe, though, as a goalie, too.
Yeah, that is surprising. I haven't noticed anything that he does. He's a pretty mellow goalie for being a goalie, I'd say.
We're gonna have to get some ISO cams on him or something going.
I think so.
But Ty, thanks for the time. Best of luck here this weekend out in Utah.
Thanks for having me.